Food's getting cold. This is my mom's recipe. It's salty, just like last time. You never listen.
Impactful piece, really intense, very interesting artistic take on really powerful and relevant and important topic. I really, really enjoyed the use of sound. You could feel her silence, like the breakthrough at the end when she finally has a breath you can hear when she's had enough. I think that was just very, very powerful, very impactful.
And this film is just really well done. It deals with some very intense subject matter, being domestic abuse, and it is handled delicately and just beautifully in a very brutal and tragic way. The film itself serves almost as a PSA, but you could not ask for a more quality public service announcement than what the cast and crew have pulled off here. The performances were very compelling. Everything just felt real and grounded and very sincere. And hats off to the entire cast and crew on this one.
Heavy subject matter, but I thought the way that they dealt with it by not showing the physical violence itself, but the aftermath of it, was a really good way to incite someone to really think about the impact of it. And it was hard to watch, but an important topic, and I thought they dealt with it in a very sensitive manner.
Very dark. Very haunting, very effective. I thought the depiction of violence was quite interesting in that it left the imagination to put together what the violence may be, but that you saw the outcome of each attack or episode. Quite interesting the way the room morphed from the dining room, let's say, into the interrogation cell. How, as it progressed, the elements of the dining room got stripped back, and then the elements of the interrogation room came forward. So just a very interesting, very dark film, very well handled. And very effective.
Listen, man, that is a powerful, powerful film. It's really, it's jarring in a really important way, and the filmmaker really got to the crux of the issue and did it without a ton of dialogue and some great nonverbal communication by the female actress, and really hitting home the abuse that takes place in domestic violence. So very important film, very happy I got to see it, and thank you to the filmmaker for making that type of content. It's much needed.
Like so many real-life encounters of domestic abuse, it is hard to watch, but a lot harder not to watch. What this film has to offer are very heavy, dramatic tones, despite the absence of actual violence, which is impressive. Instead, we have very impressive and realistic looking makeup and an empathizing portrayal of a woman who is beaten before our very eyes without ever making a sound. The man echoes all kinds of cliched sentiments involving their background, but they're mostly irrelevant. What really drives the story forward is the labored breathing, which is provided by a collection of women.
It is a terrifying tale about domestic violence. It shows a nice dinner between a couple, but then the makeup is amazing because at first the woman's skin is nice and beautiful, and then as it moves into the abuse, her face becomes bruised and then even bloody. The music is innocent and friendly at the top, but then goes really dark really fast. I love the performances of the actors, the husband, the wife, and the cop at the end. What a brilliant film, and so scary. I really appreciate the fact that they have a hotline website at the end too. Great film, very moving.
The performances were really great. I felt like it shows how much you can how well you can utilize just one space, one room, and really just draw out like a narrative out of that. The sound design was awesome. Just the layering of the breathing and all that kind of stuff, and it helped really kind of get into the mind of the protagonist, and it helps you feel all the anxiety. The reveal at the end was really nicely done.
I thought it was a daring and powerful storytelling choice to leave the audience incapable of listening to the victim, only able to listen to those cliches and trite justifications from the abuser. I can't say that I enjoyed this film, but it was very well made, and I appreciated it for telling an important narrative.
I like how this topic was portrayed. I loved this music. I really liked that one. Makeup was great as well, and thanks for portraying this type of stories. So again, we don't have to leave them other than in movies someday.
This was so powerful. I had chills the entire time watching it. I thought it was a really interesting and creative way to show the violence of domestic abuse, but without actually showing any physical violence, just the effects of it. I thought that was so cool. Great job to the makeup artist, by the way. Acting was so specific and nuanced and beautiful to watch, especially from the female lead, who didn't have any dialogue the entire time, and everything was shown just through her facial expressions. I thought that was so great to watch. The husband showed a great portrayal of emotions and manipulation, and like the switch from kind husband to angry husband to remorseful husband back to that manipulation. I loved it. I also loved, of course, that they had a woman at the end getting him to sign the paper, showing that he has been defeated.
First of all, I love the performances from everybody. Not show the violence, but instead to show you the aftermath, like the effects on her. It's almost stronger this way. The impact on the audience, I feel.
A very powerful short film to watch. It was emotional and disturbing. The acting was wonderful. The lighting, mood, the tone was just, it was great. The cinematography was great. It was unsettling and engaging. The choice to have quick flashing frames, like fragments of a memory, super impactful. The choice to have the female protagonist silent, to depict that one-sided dialogue. Domestic violence is very much like a one-sided dialogue. That voice that always trumps another voice, that voice that's never heard, a person that is scared to silence. The film was heartbreaking.
This is very well done. I like how you expose the push and pull techniques that the abuser uses to maintain control of their victim. I like the fact that it was gruesome and that the situation wasn't sugarcoated. A lot of times we'll see in different films or TV shows how they'll just show a couple of bruises on an arm or something like that. I think that, people don't take domestic violence seriously because they never really see the true blood and the viciousness of many of the attacks and, that effect that it has on people. So I thought it was very well done.
Heartfelt, I guess, for the people that's been through this kind of situation. Domestic violence is serious. And the way that they put this one together, like the cinematic feel, it was very dramatic. It wasn't like a typical type of way of showing a domestic violence story. And I just thought it was great. They did a good job. And
it was done extremely well. And without words, wow, all I can say is I speak from experience, because that's me. Everything that I saw, the child, the adult, that was me. So it speaks volumes for me. I like the way it wasn't stereotypical, and they really had, whoever wrote it, the script, has done their job in investigating what domestic violence means and the different levels and how it plays out. And the director gave really good instructions because they really went deep. So even though it was a short thing, it was very powerful, and if we had a Q&A, I'd be asking them lots of questions, but that's not an option right now. But I would just encourage them to keep going and do more of this.